Well, hello everybody. I thought I would do kind of a fun um, little video installment, quick live stream from Mexico, which is absolutely gorgeous. I thought I'd give you a little peek at the view here. I am in Playa del Carmen, and it's absolutely gorgeous. When I came here before, I stayed at a resort, but this time I decided to rent an apartment. So I'm staying in this really beautiful 1,000-foot square apartment, 1 block away from the beach, and this is the rooftop pool where I'm hanging out. Today I really want to talk about appreciation. Granted, I'm in an environment which allows for large amounts of appreciation, but it wasn't always like this, and I wasn't always able to be standing here doing that. So I woke up this morning and just got some breakfast and went to the beach, and I did my morning meditation and really practiced appreciating where I'm at right now, right? And when I talk about a practice of appreciation, it's about just being aware of where you are in your process, wherever you are in your process, and letting that be what it is, and appreciating what wisdom it has for you in that experience, right, in that moment. And not always trying to move from point A to point B, because so often when we are struggling with attachment wounding, we're always trying to go from point A to point B. It's like, well, I'm not healed enough. I need to heal more before I can get the thing that I want. Or my partner is not emotionally available enough. They need to be better at being them before I can be happy being me, or before I can be happy being in this relationship, right? But rather than getting into that kind of, falling down that kind of rabbit hole, just thinking about how you can practice appreciation for where you are right now, for who your partner is right now, for what it is that you are gaining in your experience in everyday life. So, you know, one of the things that I appreciate that when I came to Mexico, the lines were short. I appreciate that that the lover I met last time I came here bought and paid for my round trip transport and came to see me the day I got here. I appreciate that 2 years ago, I was living on welfare off New York State benefits and thought that I would have to leave the state. But then, you know, the universe offered me signs and signals, and I decided to take a chance on this online thing. And now I get to take a week off from my working from home flexible work schedule to come spend a week in Playa del Carmen and be entertained by a lover and see beautiful views like this from my rooftop pool. You know? So just every day making it a practice of appreciation. What are the things that are going well for me right now? And rather than getting caught up in problem solving, and rather than getting caught up in the fix it mode, right? Doing mode, fix it mode, like just sinking into wherever you are in that moment and expressing and feeling appreciation for that. And when you can start from a place of appreciation, then you can move into the deeper stuff. Okay, so now I'm experiencing a sense of appreciation, but where am I experiencing some contrast, right? And from this grounded place of appreciation, how can I now explore that contrast and be in dialogue with it without abandoning myself, without feeling like I have to banish any conflictual or contrasting feelings I'm having, but rather embracing those feelings as an aspect of where I am in my process, and how can I embrace those with appreciation as well, because those are always going to be telling you something about where you are and where you're at, right? So if I were to identify some contrast in my own experience, which is not very high at this moment, as you can probably tell, but if I were to take a look at what contrasts I might be experiencing, I would say it's probably around the book project that I'm working on. So I'm here to entertain my romantic interests, but I'm also here to delve into my book. So last time I was here, I started writing a book, and you know, I'm still here to continue doing that. And probably the areas that I'm sort of hung up on is like structure, like organization and structure. And how am I going to dive into that? But if I beat my head against a wall trying to make something happen, it's not going to work. So today I started by meditating on the beach, and then I caught a lot of attention. So I decided to come back to the private hotel area and do a little bit of absorbing. So sometimes when we're trying to like do something or affect something. Part of it is being able and willing to take things in and just to relax into whatever wisdom is trying to make its way into your existence. So I thought I would share this with you. So like right now I'm reading this book, Hold Me Tight by Sue Johnson, which I think is fabulous. I love Sue Johnson. She's so right on the money. And I think part of, being in that process of wanting to create something, whether it is a deeper sense of security within yourself, whether it is a sense of authentic and healthy connection with a partner, all of that is a creative process. And a major part of it involves just relaxing into yourself and listening to what comes through. And that starts with a practice of appreciation. So for me, I did my meditation this morning, and what came through for me was like, now is not a time to be pumping out. Like, now is not a time to be like churning things out. It's a time to relax and to absorb and to take in. So I'm taking things in. I'm going back and revisiting my favorite books, and I'm thinking about what are the things that I love, that served me, that nourished me, and how can I bring some of that to what it is that I want to create with my own voice, right? So this is just going to be a very short live stream, but I wanted to find out, as I'm going through this book writing process, I'm thinking about this practice of appreciation and how to incorporate that into what I want to talk about. And so I would love to see in the comments there below, how do you practice appreciation? Do you have a practice of appreciation? And if you did, what are some of the things that you could appreciate that are in your life right now? Or if you're struggling with relationship issues, what are the things that you can appreciate about your relationship right now? What are the things that you appreciate about your partner right now? And put that in the comments there below, because I think that's going to help us start from a more grounded position and a more positive vibe. And that is not to ignore negative feelings that you are having or viewing them as negative, but rather to create a more stable foundation from which you can start to welcome and embrace them in as not negative, but rather an expression and an aspect of your process and where you are in the moment. And then that becomes food for fodder, right? That becomes fuel that's going to help you continue to expand in whatever it is that you want, right? Whether it's a sense of deepening security within yourself, whether it's a sense of deepening connection with a partner, things like that. And also, if you comment there below, that'll give me some inspiration probably for continuing to write this book. So thank you for joining me here if you did, and I'd love to see the things that you are appreciating below.